we are committing what only amounts to an ecocide. We are obliterating our planet for future generations, and we are continuing to make the same foreign policy mistakes we have made for centuries. And so, I mean, again, I feel like what this really is connecting back to the power of the establishment and connecting back to the power of corporate money. When it comes down to climate change, the only reason we have not had major action when the majority of the American public support a Green New Deal is that oil money in politics. It is that oil money that is constantly pushing out this propaganda message and funding scientists to say, hey, this is an issue we shouldn't worry about. It's not a real thing. So what we really have to do is we have to push back hard against that money, which is destroying our planet, and we have to sort of push back and fight for our own future, because I mean, we're both obviously young. We're the ones who are going to bear the brunt of the decisions, or those are older, and that's why I completely appreciate the actions of the Sunrise Movement and other youth movements like it, because what it is saying, hey, you guys, the actions that you're taking right now, you're not going to be the ones affected by this. We are, and we don't approve of it, and we're going to stand up for what we believe in. And that's what we need to continue to do if we don't want to see this world headed down the path that it's headed down now.
Yeah, it's really so important, and it's so kind of inherent on the young generation to be like, really kind of wake up and start making TikToks less about, I don't know, whatever the most recent TikTok, like my sister would know, and start making TikToks about the fact that we, like, the doomsday clock is, and I don't mean to sound like nerdy here, but 100 seconds to midnight. Like, that's not very long at all. And it's like, I really do get the sense that we gotta do something about it. And it's not our, it's not our kind of fault that we got here. Like, we're I think very new, especially Gen Z, very new to this planet, and we kind of learn from who we came up from. And it's like, it's very, very important that we gotta fight and figure out a way to get to really making some change and really making it fast. And that could mean fighting some of the older generation, and it could mean working with some of the older generation. And one of the people that we obviously will be working with to make change is Senator Bernie Sanders, who's one of the few good old white guys out there in politics. But yeah, luckily he is doing quite well. Senator Sanders, he's taking a double-digit lead in New Hampshire after a 14-point jump since December. And this key first or second primary state, he's jumped out according to a new WBUR poll. He's got 29% of the poll. Former South Bend Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg pulled in a distant second place at 70%. Joe Biden and Warren got 14 and 13 respectively. So again, this is one poll, but it comes in the end of a really in the kind of hopefully in the middle, not the end of a good few weeks for Bernie Sanders. He's jumping in the polls. He's surviving a lot of media attacks, pushing him off. Like, what do you make of how the campaign is going on so far for our big man Bernie Sanders as he marches to the presidency?
I think it's going well, and this time he has the name recognition on his side, and he has that same energized base. And what I can't stress enough here is how much we have to keep fighting. Because, yeah, there's been these great polls. Like, I mean, you obviously saw the CNN one where he took the national lead, which is unheard of and amazing. But we have to – I saw a tweet recently where we need to pretend that it is a 12-point deficit and we're a day away from Iowa. Because we need to beat him, and especially Joe Biden, if we really want a shot of enacting progressive legislation and at taking down Donald Trump, we need a Bernie Sanders presidency. And to do that, we've got to fight, we've got to push, and we've got to extend that lead I want to see it being 30-35% in New Hampshire, not just 29, because that will show the American people that, hey, he has the backing of all these people, and he's the one that is going to be the candidate to finally break the corrupt system that has been enshrined in Washington all these years.
Yeah, if we have any rowers listening, Chase kind of reminded me of his, because he is a great, wonderful coxswain. So he kind of reminded me of that, pushing Bernie for a power 10 across the finish line. So like that was kind of wonderful to see. Like, yeah, it's so true, because we cannot get comfortable. There is the reality is there is a whole group of very, very powerful people, as we saw come out of the woodwork. We got Hillary Clinton coming out. We got Elizabeth Warren coming out. We got all facets of the media, all facets of the most powerful people in the country coming out trying to stop the movement that is going on, because they know that Bernie Sanders is going to be the real threat to the way that they run things. And the way they run things is really careening us to the brink, 100 seconds to midnight here in the doomsday clock. Like, that is something that is so important. So obviously Chase, he's supporting Bernie Sanders. I'm supporting Bernie Sanders, both financially and with our hearts and souls. Our final message is to continue to do the same if you can financially, and even if you can go out and make some calls, you can volunteer, like whatever you can do to help Bernie Sanders, because as you said, he's our shot. He is our one big shot. It does not happen very often. It's going to be great if you're out there supporting Bernie Sanders to do anything and everything that you could to get this across the finish line. Chase, that is all the time we have today. Thank you so much for coming on. It was great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.
Really, really appreciate it. Hope to have you back sometime soon on Newsflash. That's all for us today. We'll be back Sunday with a new episode talking to Glenn Bradford about the impeachment, what's really worth, and of course a bunch of other things too. All right, see you then.